welcome back to my channel. My name is Chesney and I am a flower farmer down here in the southeast of England. I am coming up to my 3rd year of growing now, and for those that are new around here will not know that I am starting a brand new growing area completely from scratch. I have moved into the next field along, and I am expanding and just growing on a much larger scale. I am, like I say, starting everything from scratch, all my beds, everything. I've got my refurbished polytunnel that I bought secondhand, and all of my beds outside are their 1st year just being all set up. Sorry I haven't done any of these videos in a long time, but I have just been so busy. I am a one-man band trying to do this all by myself, so yeah, it's just been hectic trying to get everything set up all ready for the growing season ahead. So I'm sorry there hasn't been much updates, but I just wanted to quickly do a video just to share a little bit of some of the challenges that I've faced this year so far, because it's not all sunshine and flowers all of the time, and I really just wanted to show like the highs and the lows of growing and just kind of be fully honest and fully transparent. And yeah, it's not all beautiful flowers all of the time. There's a lot of hurdles to overcome. When things go wrong, I just see them as a big learning opportunity. I just think the more mistakes you make and the more errors you do, the more experience you get, and you kind of learn from it and you know what to do and what not to do. So for me, a big challenge this year has been my growing medium that I've decided to use. Obviously I do no dig here on my flower farm, so I don't till the soil. I layer cardboard down, a layer of mulch, and I naturally let the grass decompose, and the microorganisms underneath and all the life underneath of the soil kind of works its magic and just turns it into a beautiful bed. So that's kind of the approach that I take. Last year and the year before, I used green waste compost from a company called Gardenscape, which was really good. My plants grew really well, my beds were amazing, it worked really well. This year, because I needed things on such a large quantity, I got in contact with a farmer the village along, and he has supplied well rotted manure, which I thought that's fantastic. I can use that for my beds. Like, it doesn't really matter what you use, they all have their own benefits and their own kind of pros and cons, if you like, but I thought that's amazing. I can get it on a much larger scale. I've got a lot more beds to make, so I've been using that. Now, I know that you should only use well rotted manure. You should never use fresh manure on any of your plants because it's far too rich and it's not broken down. So what will happen is it will like burn the roots and it will just kill off the plant. The plant won't be happy and won't like it. It's the same when you use manure to mulch your roses. It needs to be well rotted. So the farmer did assure me that it's very well rotted, and it does look very good. It's still very good quality. However, there was one thing that I didn't take into consideration when using this manure. So I read a lot of Charles Dowding posts and blogs and his books, because he is like the no dig guru. Although he's primarily focused on vegetables, he's still really good with regards to the soil health and learning all about that. So yeah, although I'm not growing veg, I'm growing flowers, it's still very good and interesting to read about the soil life. However, there was one thing that I didn't take into consideration, and that was pesticide use. So some animals graze on ground that has been sprayed, and I didn't realise that when they eat this, they digest it and it doesn't break down. So when they then go to toilet and we use their manure, there is still residue of that pesticide left in the manure. And you have to be particularly careful when growing your plants in it, because although it might be well rotted and stuff, there can be some of this residue remaining. Sorry, the sun's decided to come out now, which is glorious because we haven't had sunshine in such a long time. However, I didn't realise any of this because it's my first time using well rotted manure. Like I said, I previously used to use green waste compost. So I have had a lot of casualties due to this factor. I have lost over half of my autumn sown ranunculus, which is a bit of kick in the teeth, to be honest, because I splashed out on a specialist variety. I went for some Italian ranunculus this year, and unfortunately I've lost over half of them. I've also lost all of my autumn sown sweet peas and my autumn sown anemones. I've lost a lot because they did say in Charles Dowding's book, it does say pay particular attention to legumes, because you'll notice that the new growth will be yellow and the leaf tips will be curling, and that can be a sign of the pesticide residue in there. So, and that's exactly what's happened to my sweet peas. So in the polytunnel, my beautiful sweet pea wall that I was planning is unfortunately no longer, because all of my autumn sown sweet peas that I've planted out have died. Now, I need to take some responsibility because they weren't in the best state. I did leave them in their pots for far too long. They needed to be planted out much earlier than what I did, so they weren't in the best condition to start with. However, I did a little bit of an experiment. I planted out some of my late winter sown, so I've got some January sown sweet peas that are looking quite healthy. And I thought I'll do an experiment, and rather than planting in the manure that so my no-dig bed, you have a thick layer and you plant inside that. You can plant directly in your no-dig bed. What I did was I dug down below the cardboard into the native soil. Now I'm on heavy clay here, so it's quite compacted and stuff, and I'm working on improving the soil health. But what I did was I planted my sweet peas down into the native ground, into the clay, and moved some of the mulch and the manure aside, and they've done fine. They're growing away happily, they're putting on new growth, they look really healthy. So it's kind of confirmed my conclusion of there's some kind of thing in the manure. So I just wanted to share this because I want people to learn from my mistakes as well, and I just want to share what I'm finding out and whatnot, because if you're just starting out, I think it's really useful to know. So yeah, just be mindful. Obviously, using well-rotted manure is so good. There's so many key benefits to it, so much nutrients in it, so good for the soil. Yeah, it's just one little thing to bear in mind. So I just really wanted to share that really, and just give a little update. Again, sorry I haven't done many videos. I will be doing some more very soon, but I just kind of wanted to show, I'm going to insert some clips during this video to show the casualties, and yeah, just a bit of reality really. It's the highs and lows of flower farming. It's not all sunshine and flowers, like I say. But on the flip side, I have some very good news to share. So the previous company that I used in my first few years of growing, I reached out to them and explained my situation, and they have been incredibly generous, and they have said that they would love to help and support me and my business and donate 2 large bulk bags of green waste compost, yeah, to help support me getting started. So I actually cried on the phone because I was so beyond grateful. It's going to make such a difference and help so much, and yeah, it's just the generosity. It's just I'm so grateful. I have no words. Yeah, I'm going to use the rest. I'm going to use that compost, those bags, to finish off the rest of my growing area, and I'm going to be very careful when I plant out a lot of my other plants to try and get the roots more in contact with the native soil rather than just sitting in the manure. And yeah, I've got a delivery coming on Friday, so I will be sharing and doing a video on that, so stay tuned. Sorry again that I've been very rubbish at keeping you guys updated on here, but yeah, I will do a tour soon of what I've been up to, so you can see exactly why I haven't been very present. It's a very busy time of year for us growers, especially because on top of all the growing stuff, I'm also setting up the new growing area. So you normally wouldn't have that in addition to what we got to do. So a lot of seed sowing, a lot of potting on. I'm starting my dahlias. There's just planting out, setting up the beds. There's just a lot to do. So yeah, thank you for following me on my journey. I'm really grateful for everyone's support. It just means the world. And yeah, if you have any questions or you want to chat about anything to do with flowers, growing, anything, then please do leave me a message and I will get back to you. But thank you so much.